My dear friends, I am Sethuram from Nivedita Academy. Today's topic is about the prehistoric age. Prehistoric, why we say it is a prehistoric? We started writing history only after Indus Valley civilization. Before that, some evidences we found through remnants left over by the people of those ages. Okay, that age is called prehistoric age. Before writing the history, this history, we have found out some facts before started writing the history. That's why we say it is a prehistoric age. We can divide this prehistoric age into 5 different stages. One is the Stone Age. That is the technology based on the stone. That's why we say it's a Stone Age. Second one is a Paleolithic Age, Paleolithic Period. The Stone Age, we have these kind of ages. These periods are there. All these things are in the Stone Age only. Second one is the Mesolithic Age, and then Neolithic Age. Then comes Copper Age, Copper or Bronze Age, and then finally we have Iron Age. Stone Age, we say Stone Age on different stages we studied: Paleolithic, Neolithic, Mesolithic, like that. Okay, and this Stone Age itself, even there are some people say that there are this age might be belong to the period between 2.5 lakhs years before Jesus Christ to 1 lakhs years back. Then covers 1 lakhs to 50,000 years back. Next stage comes around 1 lakh to 50,000 years back before Jesus Christ. And then the third stage of Stone Age comes between 50,000 to 40,000 years back. Okay, between that. And then next stage comes to 40,000 to 10,000. So this comes. Then 10,000 to 5,000. And 5,000 to 3,000. So these are studied in various periods that way. So let us study now the Paleolithic period, which comes up to 25,000 years before Jesus Christ's birth. The people lived near water resources, only in the river, nearby the riverside they were living. They had no idea of cultivation. They did not know how to cultivate the land, how to do agriculture, farming, all these things they did not know. They did not know how to use the metals. They used cleavers carved out from the stone. They used hand axes also as tools. They lived in natural caverns. They did not know how to build houses. They had no houses at all. They lived on fruits of the trees, and they lived on fish and also meat of the animals. They hunted. They did not wear clothes. They used to be naked most of the time. Later on, they started wearing clothes made by tree leaves or the bark of the tree or skin of the animals, like that. They did not bury their dead bodies after their death. The dead bodies were found as it is there on the ground. The bodies were not burnt. They were also not buried. Later on, they started putting the dead bodies in the pots, big pots, and they buried it in the ground. That kind of activity was there later on. Okay, they lived in groups to protect themselves from wild animals. Their major occupation was only to hunt animals just for the food, they hunted the animals for food. There were three parts in the Paleolithic Age. One is Lower Paleolithic Age, next one is Middle Paleolithic Age, and third one is Upper Paleolithic Age. The Lower Paleolithic Age is up to 50,000 years BC. The remnants were found there. Remnants, some of the remains left over by the people of those period were found out. In some of the areas like Sohan area in the northwest, it is a tributary to the Sohan is one of the tributary river of Indus Valley, Indus River. It was nearby, it was found out. Half a dozen other places also were found nearby the Narmada River and other tributaries also. Narasimhapur Valley, near that Narmada Valley. Narasimhapur is one of the place nearby Narmada Valley. That also, these remnants were also found out. And in Madhya Pradesh, Bhimbeka is one of the place where these remnants were found out. And the Middle Paleolithic Age covers the period between 50,000 to 40,000 BC. The remnants were found out in some of the areas in Sindhu, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, North Andhra Pradesh, North Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Gujarat. Upper Paleolithic Age, the period was between 40,000 to 8,000 BC. Some of the places where remnants were found were at Balan Valley, Ahmedabad in Balan Valley, and Bedamchali in Andhra Pradesh. These were found in Sorapur, in Bijapur, in Karnataka, some other places where this Paleolithic, the third, that is the Upper Paleolithic Age, the people lived and the remnants were found there. Next one is Mesolithic Age. The period is between 25,000 to 5,000 BC. Men used jasper, charts, bloodstones, even bones, and also to kill wild animals. They make some other implements and weapons also. All were made out of stones only. They used arrows, spearheads, sickle, saw, blades, trapeze, daggers, and also triangles. They were also depending on fruits, fish, and killing the other animals. They ate meat of the animals also for the living. They domesticated some of the animals like dogs, cattle, sheep, goat. The first they started learning planting the farm, the planting some of the crops also. They started doing farming work. They planted wheat and barley first. They also did not build any houses for themselves. During that time also they were living only in the caves. Okay. Men started later on this age, this Mesolithic Age, men started to bury their dead bodies of the people later on. Dog was a pet animal. They tamed some other animals also. Dead people were given some grave offerings were given them. Clay pottery also was made later on. So Mesolithic people were very fond of arts. They drew pictures mostly about the hunting, arrows, bows, and they painted the women's figures like dancing. Some of the rock shelters were found near Vidyan Hills in the central India, where these paintings could be found there. The paintings were mostly in red and white pigments. made from nodules found in rocks and sand on the earth. The subject of the paintings were about hunting the wild animals. These sceneries were found out in the caves. The rock art, these rocks are rocks of arts or paintings. They are petrographs. Petrographs means drawing the pictures and the painting. And then petroglyphs also were there. They engraved the rocks and made some figures out of that. So these could be found out in the shelters, in the natural caves. This art always reflect the culture of these people of those times. It shows that they had also aesthetic sense, just like we have in modern paintings. And part of the Mesolithic age, we find some other places, that is Bet Hanpur in Bengal, Langnain in Gujarat, Tehri in Andhra Pradesh, Adamgarh in Madhya Pradesh, Nagar in Rajasthan. These are some of the prominent places for Mesolithic age. And some of the remnants were found in between 1970 to 74. They discovered several places in Ganga Valley. The Neolithic age, it was between 5000 BC to 3000 BC. Evidence were found near Calcutta, Madras, Mysore and Hyderabad. And tools and weapons were made from stones only. But they were very sharpened and polished. Previously they were rough. They were not at all sharpened. They cultivated the land, this Neolithic age. They started cultivating the land. They domesticated animals also. They started building houses. They buried the dead bodies, or they burnt the dead bodies of the people. They used skin of the animals as cloths. They started cooking food also. They made clay pottery. They used it for holding water or corn crops like that. They acquainted with the art of painting. They built the potter's wheel. Wheels were made at the first time in Neolithic age. They started to think about religion, God. They started to talk about God and devils, good God and bad devils also, like that. Some of the sites which are very familiar for Neolithic age are Indus Valley, Ganga Valley, Western India, that is Northern Deccan, and Southern Deccan also. Merghar. In Merghar we can find the agriculture settlements, and the Bolan River, which is very nearby that is a Balochistan plateau. Indus River. Indus River is one of the Bolan River is a tributary of Indus River, which is found in the Balochistan. The Gafkrel and Barsahom in Kashmir, and Mehgara, Chapani, Mando, Kodiva. These are all the places where these Neolithic sites, where these are all in that Bolan Valley and Uttar Pradesh. And some other in South India also we can find out some other places like Kodaikal and Utnar, Nagarjunkonda, Palava in Andhra Pradesh, Tekalkota, Maski, Narsipur, Sangankalu, Halur, Brahmagiri and Karnataka. In Tamil Nadu we can see Periyampalli. Next one is a copper and bronze age. It is between 300 BC to 1000 BC. We can say this is the initial stage of Indus Valley civilization. In South India this age did not exist. Copper was in use during this period. Scholars believe that India did not enter this kind of bronze age at all. These are found in some other countries, but India, this bronze age was not at all there. From Neolithic age it entered the copper age and then iron age. This is called Chalcolithic age. The implements of weapons, men used to from stone to some other, they started using metals also. Okay. Their habitation and occupation was, the man started progressing in every field. They cultivated land, lived in houses, in villages, they formed villages, they started living in cities also, they domesticated animals, they used cloths from cotton, woolen cloths also were made, and they developed by means of transport and also the communication, language also improved, they started writing scripts also, they had faith in God and worshipped, they built up temples, gods, they went to the temples and worshipped the gods and goddesses, they lived in groups, they lived a very cultured and civilized life. Okay, then Iron Age, this is below 1000 years, we can say it is a Vedic age. During this period, Aryans had come into India, and several villages were formed, civilization was in different parts of the country, and people started using iron also, iron, copper and silver, these were used. Men started fighting with nature, fighting against nature for his existence. Indian culture and civilization as a proud place during this period. Okay, with this I end my topic today. Thank you very much.